Hello, my name is Larry Pinson Sr., the author of this book called Chaps. You could go and look at my YouTube videos that I have done, and you can go to Best Book Media website and see some of the things I have done. You can go to Global Summit House website and see some of the things I have done for Chaps. The reason right now everybody needs Chaps, meaning the workers and the employers. Right now, the employers are having problems finding workers because we have a pandemic and people are in an outrage and an uproar about their jobs. Meaning, like the governments, they'll shut down a job, and then they say you stay home because it's a pandemic, but they are not giving you a way to make a living. So that's why when I started writing this book, I've been at it for a while now, and nobody was listening to me. Nobody. Nobody in the government, the federal government, the city government, and the state government. And even my closest friends, family members, will always tell me that they didn't understand Chaps or they didn't want to hear about Chaps. And then behind my back, yeah, they're going to have to do it behind my back. There ain't no problem. But they just call me a crazy man, even at the job. Because one of the things that the people didn't want to hear was I was saying that there's no such thing as overtime. So let's get to the meat of the problem. When I say there's no such thing as overtime, everybody have their own fingerprints. Everybody have their own DNA, not unless you were born in the same egg. And if you were born in the same egg, that means that everybody in the eggs have the same DNA, but they have their own fingerprints. Okay. So what you don't know, that you have your own 168 hours every physical work week. Now, everybody that works, they're really working off a calendar work week all these years, especially at the United States Post Office. And they don't even mention the physical calendar work week. So I'm gonna start with the physical calendar work week, something that nobody knows, okay? So it's 5 different pay systems, CHAPS pay system in my book. 5 different. It's full-time military CHAPS, part-time military CHAPS, full-time bargaining unit CHAPS, part-time bargaining unit CHAPS, and a salary CHAPS. Okay. Now, if you're an entrepreneur or either a worker, you have to look at the book and see what CHAPS pay system fits your needs. That's what you got to do. And then you got to understand that everybody is created equal by the hours that they get, meaning that you have 168 hours. So you have to work 1 week and be off 3 weeks and 1 day within 1 week. Okay, I'm going to give you the answer to the riddle. It's not a riddle or the puzzle. Because when you tell somebody right off the bat that you have to work 1 week and be off 3 weeks and 1 day within 1 week, they gonna say, "Oh, I'm talking to a crazy man." Let me cut this off, or you gonna cut? I don't want to hear this guy. I don't want to hear this because he's not making sense. But hold on. What you need to do, you need to look at some of my YouTube videos that I have done. Just go over them and see what I'm saying, okay? Then, but today, I want you to listen to this because I'm gonna give it to you straight. First of all, when I say you had to work 1 week and be off 3 weeks and 1 day, so let's go by the labor laws. The labor laws say you work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. That's it. And if you go over those hours, but they don't tell you you had to work in your pay location. And so we got to understand the pay location. Well, you got to understand the pay location. I understand the pay locations. And as you know, 8 hours does not make a day. You need 24 hours, meaning you need three different tours. 8 hours. 3 times 8 is 24. Everybody understand that. Okay. But you have to be in your pay location. So that means that tour one starts at 8 p.m. and then it ends at 8 a.m. the next day. And then tour two starts at 4 a.m. and ends at 12 p.m. Tour three starts at 12 p.m. and ends at 8 p.m. That's it. It's in the book. If you're not understanding what I'm saying, I got it written right here in this book, Chaps. Right now, Chaps is I have 5 different publishers publishing this book over the period of the years. But the reason for that, it's all self-published, and I would have problems telling the publisher to how the things that's going on in the book. See, Chaps is not easy to understand, because the reason I say that, because I say that I'm going against everything that the people at the United States Post Office and even on your job is looking forward to. So, like, people at the United States Post Office, they claim that they get paid every 2 weeks. It's not true. It's not true. They claim that they have to work only a 52-week pay system. It's not true. First of all, you got to understand the pay system, how many weeks you got to work in the pay system. So let's start. But so you have to start in a physical work year. A physical work year starts October the 1st and ends September the 30th. Now that's the government fiscal year. And that's the only thing the United States government held right, the fiscal year. Behind that, everything's falling apart. But you got to understand, and you got to know that you have your own 168 hours, and you have to work your hours individually. So the problem is, you let a company take over your hours and tell you what time to start, and they are in charge of your hours. And it's totally wrong. You have to take back your hours, because if you work in the Chaps pay system, you would get a double salary for the rest of your life, using your own money and beyond. So you got to get this book, and then you got to break it down and understand what I'm talking about. First of all, people at the United States Post Office, the Postmaster General is having problems getting the mail out. And the problem is they don't have no backup to the system. So letter carriers. But first, before we go to the letter carriers, let's say the people in the plant, people that work in like the bulk mail centers and the distribution plants all over the world, or in the United States postal system. Your hours, you run a 24-hour clock. So you run a 24-hour clock in the plants, and it's 3 pay locations. It's in the book, so I don't have to explain that to you no more. So the AOs, the area post office, you run tour 2, 4 to 12, and you run tour 3, 12 to 8. Everybody, that's the time you come in, because you cannot overlap in somebody else's pay location. And then the letter carriers, the letter carriers will start at 6 o'clock, and then they'll work to the 8 hours. They get off at 2, and then if they start at 7, they get off at 3. But the main reason that their starting time is 6 a.m. letter carriers is that they're waiting mainly on all the mail that's coming from the plants for that delivery. So once they get that, then they hit the streets, and the routes have to be like, if you stay in the AOs, getting your mail together and sorting your mail out, and then getting your DPS mail, and then you should be probably leaving out the plant at maybe 9 o'clock, maybe, or either sooner. It's all according to how fast you are, but all the you should have a sufficient amount of time to do your route without killing yourself. And so you get out there in the street, and then you do your thing. But it's only for 8 hours. So with this, so you actually have to work 7.5 hours, and you pay yourself a half an hour lunch. That's how it's broken down. So it's total 8 hours. You don't work 8.5 hours. That's the problem right now at the United States Post Office. Because, see, in a work day, you work 8 hours, and then you have to R&R 16 hours before you go back to the next day. Let me say that again. You have to R&R 16 hours. So that's getting back to the riddle. You have to work 1 week and be off 3 weeks and 1 day within 1 week. Now, you have to have a physical work week, not a calendar work week. A calendar work week is different from a physical work week. So you use a physical work week. And so then you got to understand the pay periods. A pay period is 320 hours. But you had to get the book. See, I really can't tell you about how the book go in this video because it's already too long. And a lot of you people probably already turned it off. But that's on you. But the basic thing is, what I want you to know, that you own your own hours, and that's 168 hours. And I know I keep on repeating myself because a lot of people don't believe it. So what I'm saying to you, as teachers, what they're doing. Remember, I told you, you cannot work your hours on top of somebody else's hours. So it's in this book. When the teacher's supposed to start on tour 2, the teacher's supposed to come in at 4 o'clock in the morning. Teachers, not students. Teachers. Okay, you come in at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you leave at 12 o'clock noon. That's another form of social distance, because the teachers that teach on tour 2 will never see the teachers teaching on tour 3, because it's 8 hours, and then you leave after your 8 hours, and then tour 3 comes in, but tour 1, remember I told you, tour 1 is the only hour that you can move around in order to get the 24-hour effect. So tour 1 can come in at 8 o'clock and leave at 4 o'clock. So you have that, you'll use another clock, the 12 a.m. clock and the 12 p.m. clock. So it's 2 clocks. It's a 24-hour clock. It's according to what clock you need or what work you're doing. And then it's a 12 a.m. and a 12 p.m. clock. And that's the way you get your social distance. And then now you got to understand the beds. You got to have a bed. So a bid is a yearly schedule with days off. That's all. And your starting time and beginning time. What tour you on? That's all the bid is. Simple as that. So let's break down the bids. Okay, so you have two 7-day bids and one 6-day bid. So if you a worker, let's say at the United States Post Office, if you're working at the United States Post Office and you got seniority, you top of the man, first of all, you'll probably bid, you use the one of the 7-day bid. It's two of them. So you would use, you would be off Saturday and Sunday. But Saturday and Sunday is your sixth and seventh day of the work week. You haven't even began to work yet, but that's your non-scheduled days, Saturday and Sunday. And then you work the 5 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's your 5 regular days, okay? So the worker number 2, okay, so you got to schedule another 7-day bid. So meaning that that worker, he will come in, he will work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then his 6th and 7th day will be Thursday and Friday. Then another worker would come in and they would work Saturday and Sunday. And then they would work Monday. And then the non-scheduled day would be Tuesday and Wednesday. And then they'll come back in Thursday and Friday and work on that second 7-day bid. And then you have a 6-day bid, and then they will start on Saturday. Then their days off will be Sunday, Monday, and then they'll work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That is the 4-in-a-box bid system. 3 bids, 2 7-day bids, and 1 6-day bid. Now, I know that's confusing to you, but it's in the book right here. Get the book, because I know this is a lot for you, but just think about me. Just think about me. What you mean, Larry? Look, man, see, you got to understand, out of all the people in the world, everybody have to use their own hours. You cannot schedule your hours the same way. So it's a big reason for that. Now, the reason is that you have to work and pay yourself. Now, I'm going to tell you how you pay yourself. Once you start working, and then you're accumulating your off time and stuff that for annual leave, your sick leave, and then you have workman's comp, but the post office is not going to tell you. But the money is there. So you have to work a total, and plus the people at the United States Post Office, remember I told you, no such thing as overtime. No such thing as overtime. So, but it is a such thing as carry-on time. So you have to look in the book and find out what's carry-on time. And then you would understand, oh, I can explain it to you, but carry-on time is only hours that's already scheduled, and the person that's scheduled to do those hours cannot. So, for some reason. So, the money is there and the work is there. So, you will have to use somebody on their non-scheduled day. Call them in so they can do your work, but you pay them. You pay them. And if they work on their 6th day, you pay them time and a half. And then if they work on their 7th day, you pay them double time. It's in the book. Get the book to understand it. And I said, where your hours go. Because you own your own hours. Don't let nobody, man, don't let that postmaster general tell you that you work 8 hours a day for 8 hours of pay. Don't let that postmaster general tell you that you work 40 hours a week for your 40 hours salary. It's impossible. You can't. So don't let them tell you that. Tell them that it's broken down into 4 increments, 4 buckets, meaning you have to work 10 hours to pay for all your benefits that's non-taxable. You have to work 10 hours to pay for your stipend pay that's non-taxable. You have to work 10 hours to pay for your next year's salary that's non-taxable. And then you have to work 10 hours for this year's salary that's taxable. All right. So now this is what it's a lot of hidden figures there. So it's you see every week you're gonna see 10 hours, but you're not gonna see 30 hours of hidden figures. The post office is not gonna tell you that. They're not gonna tell you that. It's simple as that. Get this book and figure it out for yourself. You know, God said he helped those who help themselves. And then it's another thing. It's time for the people to control their own hours. Now, I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about the military. People in the military, they should be getting a double salary as well. But they're not. Because they're governed by a federal government pay system, human resource pay system. And that federal government human resource pay system is based on taxpayers' money, which is tyranny. I'm saying that, and it's tyranny. It's simple as that. So, look, aren't you tired of the United States government? I know I am. And I know it's the reason that I had to write this book. Because I know everybody else is tired of them too. And you know, a lot of times, oh, you raising the taxpayers' money. Come on, man. You know, you have to be in the taxpayer system too. Now, even from the president on down, everybody. So every night, when the president talking to David Muir, you know, I watch Channel 7. You know, it's out. You know, so not knocking nobody, not knocking no one else, because you all do a good job. But a lot of the stations, you know, might not be telling the truth. But I don't know. All I know is that the president is. I voted for the president. Don't get me wrong, because I'm a Democrat. But I don't agree with the president's pay system. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with you have to pay for these kids paying their $75,000, $100,000, you know, getting deeper in debt to try to learn how to work going forward. So I believe in this pay system right here, and every individual has to pay their own way. That's what I believe in. And that's how God wanted it to be. Because right now, man, we in turmoil. And so they talk about the inflation. Man, everybody, oh, the work. The reason these cans of beans are so high is because the workers, you have to pay the workers maybe overtime to come in and fill this order or whatever, man. Man, you must be out your mind. You know, get them workers to work in their pay location, because they have to work 30 hours. 30 hours every week. Not for pay. No. So that's free labor. 30 hours, but they getting paid, but in a different way. So there's no reason for inflation. If you use a child pay system, there's no inflation. Because everything is free. Let's talk about the healthcare workers. Healthcare workers working 12 hours a day for what? And they all in a panic. They're all in a panic. Read this book. You work 1 week and be off 3 weeks and 1 day. Read the book. You healthcare workers, God bless you. I love you. But you have to work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day in your pay location. And you hit the road. So let's go with day 1. You work 8 hours and then you R&R 16 hours. Okay? Day 2, you work 8 hours, then you R&R 16 hours. Day 3, you work 8 hours, then you R&R 16 hours. Day 4, you work 8 hours, and then you R&R 16 hours. Day 5, you work 8 hours, and you R&R 16 hours. Okay, so you work 5 days. 5 times 8 is 40. Okay, that's the 40 hours that you're working in 1 week. Okay, and now you have to 5 times 16 because you had to R&R after every 8-hour tour that you work, you have to R&R 16 hours. So 5 times 16 is 80. That's the 2 weeks I'm talking about. And then you got 2 non-scheduled days. Okay, so on your non-scheduled days, remember, you're non-scheduled. So you got 24 and 24 hours. So that's another 48. So that's your 3 weeks off and 1 day. That's the riddle. So the healthcare workers, I love you. And but they're taking advantage of you. Because don't you have some kids at home that you got to go home to? You know, work your 8-hour tour in your pay location. Now, the reason I'm saying that is that you're going to get a double salary every quarter. You're going to get a double salary every quarter because remember I told you got to work 10 hours for this to pay for all your benefits. You got to work 10 hours for your stipend pay, and then you got to work 10 hours for your next year's salary. So, and then 10 hours for this year's salary. You don't see on your paycheck the money that you work for on your 10-year for your benefits. You don't see that. So they want to keep you in chaos. You know, like you have studied and you want a career, but you have to get in the tax pay system. You know, I wrote this book for my man, President Barack Obama. Man, I've been trying to get him to understand this book, or even look at the book. I've been trying to, but see, I'm too far down on the totem pole. You're not going to listen to nobody like me. I don't have no college degree hanging on the wall because I couldn't go to college. Back in the day, I didn't want to go to college. Let's keep it real. But I couldn't anyway because I got drafted. I got drafted in 1967. Got drafted. Got out in 1969. Went to Vietnam. Thank God. Came back. I was with the 101st Airborne Division up in I Corps. In 101st Airborne Division, we was up there with the Marines up there in I Corps. We was fighting. I mean, everybody else in the country was fighting also, but we was fighting the hardcore regulars. And it wasn't no joke, Doc. We were surrounded at all times. You know, just like in that movie, A Band of Brothers. See, in that movie, A Band of Brothers, I couldn't have been in that because the Army was not desegregated then. It was segregation. But going on down through the years, you know, I always wanted to be in the 101st Airborne Division. I wanted to jump out of a plane, a perfectly good plane. I wanted to jump out because you know why? Because you're a tough guy, Doc. You've been trained on the fire. Now, I can speak on that because I'm a combat vet. I'm a disabled combat vet because of the Agent Orange over there that I got flowing through my body. You know, that's the same thing that Colin Powell had. He had multiple myeloma, and that's a blood disease. Okay, but they cut it out of me in 3 different places. Okay, but then that's enough about me. But I said that to say this: I was over there fighting for my democracy. But there's another thing, I was over there fighting now on that 6 and 7 day, Saturday and Sunday, where everybody talking about is a weekend. There's no such thing as a weekend. First of all, a weekend is when your weeks has ended and you 6 feet under. That's when your weeks end. You're going to get your weeks every week. It's going to be filled back up every week. So let's get that straight right now. So stop saying it's a weekend. It's not a weekend. Understand how long a week is. Understand when the week began. A week begins at 12 a.m. on a Saturday morning. 12 a.m. And it ends Friday midnight. That's your week. So ain't no argument, no debate or when the week ends. It's in this book right here. Fiscal year. You got companies out there working different fiscal year. Like I said, that fiscal year is the only thing the government got right. Fiscal year. Now, when you in the service, you have to put that money back for the next soldier. Remember, I told you you have to work 10 hours in the quarter. And so when the quarter is over, you have to place the money, your money that you work for, and accrue it for your next year's salary. The money leapfrogs. But the problem is people don't understand that because they don't see their double salary. But it's time for the United States postal workers to go to the Postmaster General because he's in charge. Go to the Postmaster General and tell him, hey, look, hey, I got this book and I'm working in my pay location and I'm looking for my money every quarter. Simple as that. Just stop all this talking about I don't have no job and all this kind of crazy stuff, man. And then another thing, let the people work. Right now, see, the people ain't working. Now, guess what they're doing? They talking about letting the people work. They got a felony on them. Oh, what? Yeah. All them brothers that they got locked up with a felony. Now they talking about, hey, look, hey, it ain't that bad what they did. What did you do? Did you smoke a joint or something like that? Oh, we gonna knock that off. Now you come work for me. What the reason they want to work for you in the first place is this right here, your hands, man. Your ability to work. Your ability to pick cotton. That's why our ancestors was over here in the first place. Ain't nobody go pick no cotton no more. They ain't got no cotton to pick anyway. And then you can go into the false phrase of cheap labor. Oh, I'm going to give you a nickel and dime, or you go over there and work 12 hours a day. Man, please, ain't nobody going to do that either. You want a decent salary. So let's say unskilled labor, $15 an hour. But remember, you get a double salary because you're using your own money. Hey, man, you get this book. Get this book. I know this video is long, but hey, I hope somebody understand that. So let's reiterate this. You got to understand that you have your own fingerprints. You have to have your own DNA. And you own your own hours. You own them. You have to understand ain't no such thing as overtime. Because every tour, I gave you the starting and ending. And ain't no and see, because when you working 8.5 hours, you're working somebody else's tour. And then so by you doing this, let's talk about the traffic jams. by you having all three tours trying to work as far as teacher goes, the teachers uh, starting school. What school? Seven to 3:30 or something like that. I really don't know. But you got all three tours in there, which is crazy. And then another thing, you cannot make up a day. Talking about snow days in Chicago. I never heard of no snow day in Chicago when I was going to school. But things changed. It's another generation. So it's a generational pay system. CHAPS is a 3 fiscal year and 1 calendar year pay system. Everybody that is working in that pay period and bids and stuff like that, you own your own hours. Hey, look, you own your own hours. So they said all these athletes. Man, you know what? They got some athletes making a lot of money. You know what? Let's just say $50 million a year. They say, ooh, that's a lot of money. You know. Hey, look, man. In the CHAPS pay system, if you making $50 million a year, you have to make $50 million to pay for your benefits. You have to make $50 million to pay for this year's salary. You have to make $50 million to pay for your stipend pay. And you have to make $50 million to get that money back to your owner after your contract is up. Man, sign with my company. This ain't no joke. Take control of your hours, man. And then all you announcers, old announcers on TV, he make a lot of money. And then he ain't making a lot of money. If somebody like Steph Curry, if he making $500 million a year, it ain't making a lot of money. It should be